2 lights, 3 lights, 4 and 5.
And it's lights out and away we go.
Here we go then. Blocky gets away cleanly. Little bit of front wing flying off in the background. Everybody seems to be away relatively cleanly. Leroy slightly going into the back of a few cars. Oh my goodness me. This is seriously close right at the start. A few cars on soft tyres. A few front runners on the mediums as well.
Yeah, Callum Ultra's being swallowed. He's already been got by a couple of cars on the soft tyres.
Wow.
Doesn't really want to be kind of held back a little bit more. Blocky has held the lead pretty well.
A few position changes. Vader is made up 2
Saxon's
spots.
had a cracking start. He's getting 4. He's up to 16th.
There we are. We can see the tyres that the guys are starting on at the minute. Both Blocky and Storm Twister on the front row started on the medium tyres. Single file as they head into the final few corners on lap 1. Callum Ultra getting racy, a little touch on the back of Ryan Wotton's Alfa Romeo. Doesn't seem like it's done any damage though. Now we did see a little bit of carbon fibre flying in the background at the racer. I think that was a little bit further down the field. Let's go back on board with the current race leader. A little bit of pressure on Blocky here to manage this stint on mediums. A good start though, no safety car, everyone away cleanly. Not bad. I think we can all be quite happy with the race start, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just saw there the tyre strategies, a potential medium to hard tyre 1 stop. For those that are starting on the mediums, I think personally that is a very good position to be in, certainly around Hungary. You can make the hard tyres work pretty well for you. The ones to watch though, it's got to be Vader and Leroy though. On the soft tyres, they really need to make some gains early doors. Otherwise it's going to really neutralise the advantage that they get. It really will. Good to see you, Beezer. The second chapel is the second with a full roster of 20 drivers. Everyone was there last week for the Monaco GP. So current prediction in the chat is for Blocky to win the race. 26k channel point says no, with 3k saying yes. Not a lot of people backing Blocky in this race, but he's doing well so far. Doing really well, maintaining that gap. Vader and Leroy, though, really need to start pushing up.
He is, to say, the longer...
Oh, Twister's round!
Twister's gone.
Oh, and that's a big crash! Storm Twister's out! That's a big collision with Callum Ultra as a result of the spin. That's going to be a virtual safety car. With Callum Ultra no doubt having some wing damage, you can see it. The front right of his wing is now missing. Wow. Lap 3. Hoo-hoo-hoo. That was big. That was a big, big crash. Wow, I think Twister a little bit too close. Lacking a bit of downforce in that slipstream of Blocky in front, going through the blind left-hander. Maybe taking a bit too much curb, spinning him round. And that's so tough for the following drivers to see. It is a blind corner after all. Callum Ultra comes into the pits.
New front wing.
Woo. Now,
very, very unfortunate.
What tyre would he go on to? It's going to be a big ask to go on to hard tyres and go all the way to the end of the race. But maybe a stint at the end with soft tyres, I think, would be a good shout.
I think if you're Callum Ultra, you've got to treat this. Yeah, that's a hard one. Hards.
He goes mediums.
Yeah, it would be a very, very big stretch to go hard from here. You've got to look at this in terms of a 2-stop. So this now becomes a 2-stop race for him. It'd be interesting to see whether he goes medium soft or medium hard.
Wow.
He'll be looking. I mean, if it was me, I'd look to stretch these mediums as much as I possibly can for a stint on softs at the end, knowing that these guys in front of them, they're all going to be switching to hard tyres.
Wow. Now Blocky has gone down the grid a little bit. He's sitting in P4 at the moment. Lord Vader currently leads the race with Leroy and Ryan. They are all on the faster soft tyres. Maybe the decision to start on the mediums, just rejigging the order a little bit. We're waiting for all the cars to come round so we can see some of the time differences as well. Leroy smells an opportunity. Don't think you can get it done on this lap. Using his DRS open. Leroy, this is going to be Leroy's best opportunity in these next few laps to make a charge and get into first place. But let's not forget, Vader has had plenty of experience in leading races before. He knows what he's doing, and I know there's again a quiet determination to take advantage of this.
Indeed.
Wow. Race is poised. We're only 5 laps in of the 35 in the race. There's so much happening right now. So much going on.
So there's kind of little groups all down the field. So there's this battle with Vader and Leroy. And there's a little kind of group which is Blocky, Ryan and VXR. Seamus is in kind of a world of his own, but then there's a battle between Agent, Flecky, Mertzy. They're all running close together.
So
Assassin
close.
into the top 10. Great to see him up there. He's had so much bad luck up until this point.
Let's hope that can carry
Then we've got
on
another
for him.
little group. Mr. Nobody going well in 11th. Cricky and Redding 12th and 13th. Then we've got the kind of recovering pack, if you like, the guys that have been having to pit early. So you've got Callum Ultra in 14, Mello in 15, Adam Hansen 16. They're all close together. And then you've got Moss and Sinister a little bit more isolated at the back, and Butters is currently a little bit off the back as well. I think he's had a couple of issues.
Adam Hansen makes a move on Mellow cover going down into turn 1, makes it stick and goes up a place. Currently sits at P15. Not good to see both the Red Bulls on hard tyres right at the back of the pack. That is really going to do their Constructors' Championship bid a lot of damage. They're sitting quite comfortably. P2 at the minute. That's looking likely to change, that's for sure. Especially with Vader and Ryan Wotton high up on the grid at the moment.
Yeah.
We got Redding in the Renault as well, currently on the soft tyres. 5 laps old at the minute, so he's had to pit early. He seems to be doing pretty well, just outside of the points. Hopefully we can see some good competitive driving from him. Goes a little bit wide though, around the penultimate corner. I think Crookie may have the chance to get past. No, Redding's going to dive into the pit lane, interestingly enough.
I'll tell you who this is working really well for is Blocky. The squabbling between Vader and Leroy have allowed Blocky to come back onto the back of these guys.
Wow,
now we're
so
at the
close.
window where these softs are going to start deteriorating. And around kind of lap 7 to 10, that's generally when they start to fall. The Blocky, after suffering a little bit of pain early on, losing a few positions, this is now where Blocky's car becomes one of the fastest on the track.
Vader's struggling as well. Well, on board with Leroy at the minute. You see Vader struggling on the brakes. Maybe the grip starting to disappear. Blocky is right there.
Where Blocky can't. Yeah, unfortunately though, it's a section of the track where you can't really do anything. He's gonna have to bank on really good traction out of this last corner to get Leroy down the straight. That's where it's gonna have to be.
All about patience here. All about
Vader's
patience.
coming in. Vader's decided he doesn't like having tyres without any grip.
Has Blocky got enough? Leroy using full ERS and will also get DRS as well.
Yeah, the problem for Blocky is, as you say, the DRS activation point is before the pit lane. So Leroy has had his DRS activated which is going to make life tough for Blocky. He's going to have to probably wait till the next lap unless there's a mistake coming from Leroy on the low grip. He's been in this situation a few times, hasn't he, Blocky? Blocky's had to learn the art of patience in an F1 car.
I'm really intrigued to see how he goes here. He's really pushing it right now, and it's at a part of the track where you don't really have any opportunity, not to do so safely anyway. And he's so close to Leroy.
You're relying on a mistake.
Oh.
You've got to leave yourself the room.
This is
You've
where
got
he's
to be
ruining
aware
his
of where you
races.
can get him.
This is where he's ruined his races previously. Exactly as you say, you've got to wait. You've got to wait for your opportunity to move, and he's been very close in previous races, caused some front wing damage. It's also understanding Leroy's going to be pitting soon.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just being a little bit aware of what's happening around you. Seems like Leroy is staying out another lap. But wow, great traction from Blocky. I think this could be it. I think this.
Well,
oh, no,
so we had some
enough.
good traction from Leroy as well.
Wow.
I think his chance is down into turn 2. He can hook this up, get the drive on the way out. He will have the DRS. Using his ERS, as he decided he wasn't close enough to have a proper go.
This is hotting up. Let's not forget as well, VXR currently sitting P3. Now he's been on these tyres since the beginning as well. The top 6 have not had to make any pit stops at the minute. Neither is UK Assassin, who is down in P9, and a few others as well. So VXR looking pretty good. He's kept his nose clean, looks to just go about his own business, and with a decent tyre strategy, could be coming away with some good points. Could be coming away with some very, very good points. Oh wow, is Blocky looking racy.
All of this, though, I have to say, is playing into Vader's hands, who has done the pit stop. He's in clean air right now.
He goes onto the hard tyres, interestingly enough. I think that is the right call. And I think Leroy dives into the pit lane. Let's have a look and see what he goes onto. Will it be mediums, or will he look to go onto hard tyres and try and push until the end? What is he choosing? He goes onto the medium tyres. Interesting, very interesting. I think VXR comes in, he goes different to Leroy, puts on the hard tyres. He will undoubtedly be able to go to the end of the race. With the Flexter now up into P2. Maybe his slightly different strategy is going to come into to play a little bit. He said he wasn't too concerned about missing out in Q3. Surely not. Surely not another Bluefoxx League race where a rogue strategy by Flecky321 pays off for him with a lot of points.
Oh, you say it's rogue strategy. We were talking about it from the outset. I mean, the strong strategy around here is the one-stop. It just depends on how brave you're feeling in terms of do you go soft hard or do you go medium hard. I would tend to go a little bit more aggressive and go for a soft hard option. Flecky has gone for common sense, really, knowing the fact that potentially there's some battles happening in front of him with people on mixed tyres. He is likely to stay closer to the guys, so he can. I mean, the for sure strategy is medium hard, and you can keel pretty much both tyres with relative ease without having to push them into puncture territory. So it's pretty much a no-brainer from Flecky's point of view. I will admit, I was kind of expecting him to start on hards.
Me too.
I was expecting Flexter to hit us with the old hard soft one stop, but it's working out for him nicely at the moment.
Seems to be doing well. He'll be needing to want to kind of punch out as big a gap as he can right now so that he doesn't lose too many positions when he does come in to pit. There's a very, very close battle happening here though between Vader, Leroy, Fresh Agent not far behind as well.
So Vader's got a decision to make here. Yes, he's catching Mercy in P3. He's got to think about the guys in first and second in medium tyres. Maybe not so much Flecky because he's closer to him. He's definitely got to start thinking about Blocky though. With that in mind, will he see Leroy in mediums? Would you, if you're in Vader's position? there much point fighting Leroy here? Or are you pretty much kind of dead set in that Leroy is two-stopping?
Interestingly, a message from Mello. He is having to go. Good luck to all drivers. We can see him falling a bit further down the grid.
Hope that's nothing serious.
No, hopefully everything is good.
Here we are with Vader then.
Ooh,
He's now got the difficult decision. He's got to run on Mertzi. He, in turn, is going to be under attack from Leroy here. Oh, he wasn't.
I don't think Leroy's got enough to get past. Is Leroy going to try and make a move, though? That's the interesting question. It's going to be close between Leroy and Mertzi.
I will be very, very impressed. If he's going for a soft medium and extending them up with bow ties, I will be very, very, very impressed.
Leroy gets the move done on Mertzi as well. Interesting to hear from Mello and a Wi-Fi outage. So I believe it's his AI that is currently driving, which is a shame to see. It is indeed regular corner cutting, and it is preset only for the car setups as well, looking to level the playing field. So it's all about driver skill and talent. Looking to see who's got what it takes, who has got the speed. Now we're on board with BLT Leroy, the current Drivers' Championship leader. He's behind Vader. He's on quicker tyres, on newer tyres. He's going to have a good run here. Is it enough into turn one? He's going to peek his nose in, but it's not quite enough. He goes down the inside, needs a good exit. Maybe down the inside at turn 3. Don't think he's got enough of a run. Oh wow, little bit wide from Vader. You can see the rear of Leroy's car just skirting out a little bit. We'll just have to be patient, stay close.
Again, I think the interesting thing is that Leroy, unless this is, he's pushing the tyres very, very hard for this to be a one-stop. You've got to think that he's on a two-stop. So from his point of view, he needs to get past ASAP.
Yes.
From Vader's point of view, if it is clear that Leroy is on a 2, he'd be better off letting him go here because he can't forget about blocking up front.
Yes.
Yes, okay, is he making sure that he finishes in front of Leroy but holding him behind? Absolutely. But at the same time, he doesn't want to lose time to blocking. So he's got to really balance this really, really well, has Vader.
It's a bit like driving on ice. There's so many things that he's got to factor in here. You don't want to push those tires. Leroy looks like he might make the decision for him though. Another very good exit. We've done a whole lap looking at Vader's rear wing. That DRS doesn't seem to be making too much of an advantage. Wow, that was close.
Might down into turn 2 though.
Is it enough? He has a look. No, Leroy thinks better of it. Wow, this is so close.
Vader left in the room initially that if he did want to push it, he'd have somewhere to go. But then became apparent that he wanted to shut the door.
This is tense. This is really, really tense. A close racing between Vader and Leroy. Two very quick drivers.
Interesting enough, Lockie has an 18.5 second gap. Just around here, generally around 18-19 seconds.
He's in a pretty comfortable position at the minute, and let's not forget that Flecky in P2, he'll be needing to box at some point soon. Vader and Leroy are catching him up as well. It won't bother him too much, but it's just another headache that Lord Vader and Leroy are going to start to have. It's like in Warzone, is it? No one likes getting third-partied. Although Flecky, interestingly, moves to the right-hand side, giving them a little bit of an opportunity if they did have the overspeed to overtake. I think Flecky is being quite sensible by doing that.
Yeah, he's being very smart here. Like he's saying, look.
Oh, that's just. Oh my goodness me, that's so close. This is so close. Flecky just gets out of it. Flecky just completely gets out of it, realises that he's not got the pace, is holding these guys up, and is going to be damaging his tyres. I think that's a smart call from Flecky.
More like Lord Senna from that one. That was pretty much like, look, if you want to turn in, you're going to hit me, buddy. So Flecky sensibly leaving it round the outside, but that's very bold.
I think that's
Vader. Thankfully, Flecky saw it coming. But yeah, it's one of those. He'd almost made the decision on the straight to say, look, right, if you're going to have the run, go past automatically.
Oh, they touched!
So, little nibble at the back end. Hopefully that hasn't damaged anything. Leroy very, very hot on the brakes. He's got to remember that Vader on that harder set of tyres will not be able to stop the car as quickly as him. He's got to factor that into his braking zone. Can he get the run? Can he get it done onto the first corner here?
He's now really looking at the inside. Oh, he's trying to send it now.
He's miles back, but yeah.
This is great stuff from both of them. Really. Oh, he's hit him again. Leroy gone into the back of Vader again. Yeah.
Carrying a little bit too much speed into these corners.
We're going to flip across to Callum Ultra, who is now right in Ryan Wotton's slipstream. Ryan on the hard tyres, Callum on 11-lap-old mediums, but certainly is looking like he's got the pace. Again, same as Leroy, needs to exercise the patience here and just make sure that he's got a decent enough gap, a decent opportunity. Fresh Agent gets a 3-second time penalty, multiple corner cutting warnings or exceeding track limits. It is so close between some of these drivers. It is phenomenal to watch. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Right, Leroy's closer this time. Will Vader go defensive?
This looks good enough. This looks good enough to make the move. Gets it done. Has Vader got enough for a little bit of a cutback? He's not using any of his errs, interestingly enough. Maybe realises the job's done.
I think what we were talking about, that's the decision from Vader to think, right, I've lost enough time defending this. If you want to go, buddy, go. I'm pretty confident you're not going to be able to pass me if you do have to stop. That, I think, was the moment Vader realised that he's changed his attention from Mr. Leroy up to Blocky up front.
Job done. Job done indeed. The next closest battle is Callum Ultra, desperately trying to get past Ryan Wotton as well. The early pit stop for some front wing damage, the collision with Storm Twister on lap 3 of the race, definitely has hampered his chances as Blocky, our race leader, comes into the pit lane after 17 laps. That's a great stint on those mediums. It goes on to the hards.
Yeah, I think that strictly speaking, I think the mediums have the life of that 18-19 round here. I think if you look after them properly, you can kind of stretch that out. Again, it falls just short of what you need for a one-stop from medium soft, unfortunately. But here comes Blocky, out he comes.
He's side by side with Leroy. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of an awkward pit exit here, especially with the way the game's programmed and when it gives you control. You're kind of relying, you get basically given control at the last possible minute where you have to be braking, so there's not a lot you can do to alter the speed out of there, unfortunately. Luckily it hasn't ended in tears and Leroy's aware of that.
Yes.
Like we were saying, weren't we, that say with Vader and Leroy squabbling, that was always the danger that they gave Blocky the gap to slot back into.
Well, this is it, and I mean Leroy is on 7-lap-old mediums with it seems like the longest stint be 18 laps so far on medium tyres. It's looking like he will have to box again. I really cannot see him making this current set of medium tyres last till the end. He'll have to bite the bullet, stick a set of softs on. His concern is going to be building up that gap to Vader and Flecky behind him. Flecky yet to box as well. Is Flecky going to try a medium to soft?
there's anyone in the field that can put it off, it is Flecky. He's very, very, very smooth, and he doesn't work his tyres particularly hard.
Wow.
So if there is one man on the grid that can pull that off, my money would be on Flecky to be the man to do it.
That would be a serious effort. For those that are joining us, I can see Exotic, welcome to you. Lap 3, a collision. Storm Twister going up the blind left-hander. A bit too much curb by the looks of it. A little bit of AI desync or something like that as well. But the car span around. Callum Ultra went into the left front as well, forcing not just Callum Ultra to pit for a new wing, but also taking Storm Twister out of the race. Everything else has been pretty good, it must be said. But lots of different tyre strategies. Yes, mate.
On his recovery drive, he is pitted. He's now on a set of hard tyres. He's currently sitting P9.
Yeah.
So he's at least come back for a couple of points, which is what you want after a kind of a nightmare start, really. It's not exactly what you want, especially around here, but he's making it work so far. And shout out to Sinister as well. He's making good progress. He's up to P13 from obviously starting down on the back of the grid. This will be a test for him. Obviously, those in the know, he's recently had back surgery. We were speaking to him in between sort of in that last session of qualifying. He said it's just recovery's going well, thankfully. I'd love to have him on the grid. He's a great man. It's finding it a little bit difficult in terms of concentration and just getting in a comfy position. From what I understand, he is racing lying down, which is never easy.
Oh, okay, that is going to make things a little bit interesting. He's currently on hard tyres that are 16
He's doing
laps
really
old.
well.
It's a great effort.
Doing really well.
Will no doubt be needed.
Oh, we've got a Renault facing backwards. That is Reading, I believe. Touched the white curb of death.
Oh dear.
The start of Sector 2.
Oh dear. The white curb of death. It is an affectionate nickname, but it's that inside curb. Oh, he's spinning all the way round. He's lit up the tyres.
Yeah, rear tyres will be melting at this point.
He's got to be very careful with his, because
he's
also driving backwards at the minute, and
that's always going to happen. Unfortunately, what you've got to do in that situation, you're not going to be able to spin it around very quick. You literally hit the start button, wait for a gap, and then you reset the track.
A disqualification for Reading.
Admire
FC
the effort
there.
for trying to spin it around manually, but unfortunately, that's always a reset to track moment.
Always, unless you can properly spin it round, you're gonna struggle there. A DQ for Mr. Reading FC at the minute. Oh, Blocky! Blocky has binned it. We were on board with him. Oh no! Full course safety car has been deployed. It was Blocky's race to lose.
Yep.
Oh my goodness me,
That's,
Sinister.
incredible.
A drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car. Wow. Wow, was not expecting that. Reading FC, why have you been disqualified? You were driving the wrong way. We were on board with you, my guy. You can't drive in the opposite way at the chicane of the Hungaroring and think it's not going to disqualify you, bud. Wow. Was not expecting that from Blocky. That was his to lose. He's going to be so disappointed with that.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. That one will hurt. And the man was in control. He was in full control of that. Everyone diving into the pits. This has worked out a treat for Leroy.
It really has.
Whether this two-stop was needed or whether it was a need/must situation, we don't know. But yeah, this has bailed out Leroy because he was looking like that strategy wasn't going to get him a lot of points here.
Wow. A little bit of a double stack going on at Alfa Romeo has worked out quite well. Vader goes P2, Ryan comes out P5. Flecky is the real winner here. He's been able to come in and has got soft tyres on. Now there will be a few laps behind the safety car. Those soft tyres will be doing very nicely to the end of the race. Wow, with VXR on 11 lap old hard tyres, I think Flecky is an outside chance of a podium here.
Absolutely, you've got to think that the safety car is going to tick us round till sort of 25. Now, 10 laps on the softs, as we saw from the guys out front, is a stretch. It's at the top end of their kind of grip window. You saw the guys like Vader and Leroy, they were struggling around 7-8 laps in. But hopefully these first few laps can take the sheen off those tyres. And if Flecky can manage these properly, he might be in for a great shout of points here. VXR, this is what to treat for. He is now P11 hard tyres to the end. Vader and Leroy have both taken the opportunity to come in and put fresh mediums on. Callum Ultra has swapped to a fresh set of hards. Ryan's on new mediums. Mertzy and Agent, they got kind of caught in the middle. They've kind of got to stick with their hards, unfortunately. Seamus and Moss, they've got brand new mediums on. That could get interesting. And yeah, this is really kind of shaking it up.
Wow.
That was that's heartbreaking to see. I mean, I've been there. That's a corner that 9 times out of 10 I will get right, and one time you just get a little bit kind of, I don't want to say complacent, because it's not an easy
comfortable
corner.
I think
when you're in a rhythm, that corner can bite you if you try and get a little bit too greedy through it.
Wow.
He will be kicking himself, I'm sure. I feel for him. I've been in that exact position, throwing it away at that corner.
Was not expecting that to happen.
Never nice.
Really was not expecting that to happen. We went back on board with Blocky to see how he was doing. He was starting to pull out that gap to Leroy, and that's where he lost it. Completely shredded the front wing and took off the front left tyre. Now this is where things need to be, people need to be sensible as well. In a tight and twisty circuit, keeping your distance under the safety car, particularly when the safety car decides to come in. This will be interesting to see who is switched on and who is making sure they're leaving enough space. I gotta admit, they're looking quite bunched at the moment. Thought he'd get a podium, just not first, says Beezer. Also not expecting a crash out. Exactly. Definitely we're feeling for Blocky here. That would have been a great story. A phenomenal pole lap, and then to take a first win of the season as well. That would have been a pretty special drive. He had it, but it just shows you this Hungaroring circuit can bite you if you get a little bit too comfortable and if you a little stop in concentration. We're going to go up to Leroy. The safety car is coming in. Lights have been turned out. We're going to go on board with Leroy, who now becomes the safety car. He will wait until it comes in. But just based on the circuit layout, really, you're waiting for that final corner to stick the foot down. Good to see drivers giving each other space and being sensible. Good to see they're paying attention in the Discord. So we're now waiting on Leroy to send it. He's leaving it rather late. Now he goes for it. No overtaking can be made until the safety car line. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3.
Getting well out of the way.
Great to see from Crookie. Very, very good decision. But Leroy is away well. Now this is going to be a very exciting battle between Vader and Leroy right the way to the end. Both on brand new mediums. It is going to come down to sheer driving skill and talent to ultimately decide this race. Can't make mistakes. Got to stay away from that inside white curb, that is for sure. But, wow.
What's also going to be interesting as well, Flecky on his softs, he has to make these go to the end of the race.
Absolutely.
After the second week in a row, he is stuck behind one of the most stubborn men on the grid. We call this the Monaco without barriers. He's got Mr. Monaco sat in front of him right now. Yes, he's on hard tyres. Yes, they're 13 laps old, but Flecky cannot afford to take unnecessary life out of these softs because they do need to make it to the end.
You saw just how well VXR defended at Monaco last week. Granted, the circuit does help that, but at the same time, you've got to know where to put the car. Let's go on board with Flecky. Has he got enough in the tank? to maybe get past VXR. I think your potential opportunity round the outside at turn 1 here with a good exit. I think this could be job done here. Great traction. He's going to have the tyres to hold it round the outside. Great respect between the two. That's a great move. That is a great racing move by Flecky321. Textbook around the outside. Absolute sheer perfection. What we absolutely love to see in the race. Very much GG's to Flecky there. Now in a podium position. VXR though is going to be feeling Ryan Wotton and Callum Ultra starting to breathe down his neck a little bit. May not be on. We got Ryan that's on 2-lap-old mediums and Callum on 5-lap-old hards. Callum is looking particularly racy, as is Ryan to be fair. VXR surely cannot make these tyres go all the way to the end. Surely not. He's going to have to pit at some point. Looks like Ryan's going to get the overspeed here. DRS now enabled. Ryan needs to do a similar move to Flecky. He's going to hold it round the outside at turn 1. That's great driving. VXR comes back at him though. VXR leaves the space on the inside. It now becomes VXR's corner on the inside. Great driving. That's great driving from the both of them there. Leaving the space, phenomenal respect. This is great to see after a safety car restart.
Yeah, I mean, little bit naughty just as they went through that right-hander. Ryan maybe not quite leaving the car's width on the outside. A little bit forceful, but nevertheless he's through.
Callum Ultra, the next one that's going to be eyeing up an overtake on VXR. Those 15-lap-old hards, he's a bit of a deer in the headlights at the minute. Showing great patience is Callum Ultra. No doubt the fan club will be watching. Hoping he can make up some positions and get some valuable points. Needs a good exit here around the final corner. He will get the DRS. He makes the lunge, goes deep into the corner. Again, very, very good driving indeed. Around the outside at turn 1. He gets the DRS down into turn 3. Move done for Callum Ultra. Some really, really great overtakes and driving achieved there. We love to see it. We absolutely love to see that. A bit further up the grid though, Lord Vader struggling to keep up with BLT Leroy. That gap now up to 3 seconds. Let's have a little look a bit further down the pack though. We've got Seamus Mia, 4-lap-old medium tyres, doing well in P7. Great to see him getting, well, hopefully going to get over the line, scoring some good points for the Haas boys. Mertzy as well, 12-lap-old hards. Can he make them go to the end? Sitting P8. No doubt Moss in the Red Bull is going to be making a giant push. Again, 4-lap-old mediums. This could be his opportunity here. He gets DRS, he's in the slipstream. Not able to get the move done at turn 1. Gets on the grass a little bit. He gets the DRS to turn 3. It is not going to be enough. He's going to have to wait another lap to safely get the move done. Mertzy defending rather well.
Yeah, Ryan flying around the outside of Flecky. Flecky obviously so sorely in tyre management at this stage. He needs to do it, unfortunately.
This could be the race that the Alfa Romeo boys need to get up into P2. They were certainly our outside bet for the Constructors Champions. Callum Ultra now looking really, really aggressive on Flecky. Can
looking to
Flecky
take
hold on?
advantage of the cautious kind of nature that Flecky has to drive in. It's one of those, like, it's so hard when you're in Flecky's position. You know you've got the grip, you know you've got the speed, but you know that you can't use it. If you use it, you will be hurting yourself in the long term. What he's got to try and do is eke it out just a couple more laps, then he will be able to then start putting the hammer down. He can keep Callum Ultra behind until he's confident about where his tyres are. That's what he needs to do right now, because he will have the speed.
That gap between Vader and Leroy, though, is not really coming down. Has Ryan got what it takes to maybe start to close that gap up to his teammate in P2? That would be interesting. Currently sits at 4.3. If he's quick enough, he may be able to push. Oh wow, that's a bold move from Callum Ultra there. The next score of the chicane. He gets it done.
Yeah, not a traditional overtaking place.
By no means would I call that traditional.
got his elbows out and made it work. Blimey.
Again, lots of space and respect shown between drivers. They understand where the cars are. They certainly don't want to ruin anybody else's races. That is for sure. See you later, FNC Luke. Have a great evening. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. I certainly have. We're on lap 30 of 35, the closing stages of race 5, season 1 in the Bluefoxx League. Nearing the halfway point, and it's still anyone's guess who's going to be taking the championship titles. Leroy, however, is currently sitting very pretty up in P1, it must be said. 3.5 seconds now separate him and Lord Vader in P2. All he needs to do is keep it on the racetrack, keep it consistent, and he'll be bringing home another win in this championship. And I believe it will make him the first driver, I think, to hit 100 points. 100 points, I believe. He currently sits on 76, and we'll be taking it.
Which, when you consider that it's halfway through a 10-race season, sort of 5 races is 125. You're crossing the 100 mark by halfway. You know, you've done a pretty banging job.
It's a pretty dominant display. Afterwards, buddy, we're going to be having to review any penalty reviews that come in. We are not just commentators, we are stewards as well. The racing will be back tomorrow. It's looking a pretty comfortable drive for Leroy out in front. The nearest battle we have at the minute is a fresh agent on Mertzy. 2 friends, but they're both on the same tyres, both at the same age, but agent does have a time penalty.
Cracking scrap a little bit further behind those 2 as well, which is a UK assassin, Mr. Nobody, and Adam Hansen. This is a 3-way battle.
Adam Hansen looking good.
Hansen
That's a good move.
Up the inside of his father-in-law.
That is phenomenal. That is going to be an awkward roast dinner this Sunday after that move. That is for sure. Somehow, do not think Adam Hansen's going to be getting any extra roast potatoes on the back of that. What a move. What a move to go up into P12.
Yeah, there would have been one nervous person in chat, little Watty, would have had her head in her hands.
We know she's watching. Not knowing who to support. Mr. Nobody, though, 19 laps that set of hard tyres has done. That's pretty impressive. That is a serious stint on those hard tyres.
We're going to take a second to appreciate where Assassin is right now as well. As I mentioned it before, races haven't really gone his way this year so far. This season.
Yeah.
It felt like a year, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's true. That's very true.
He's done a really solid job up in there, P11. I mean, Fresh Agent does have this penalty, so if that gap is going to start coming down, and life could be interesting.
He needs to get a move on.
Agent. Having a look up the inside, though.
Wow. Go on then, Mr.
Running a
Hansen.
little bit tight for himself.
I'm looking to see
You know, a
something
little bit further
special.
back,
Here he
there's
goes down the
nobody
outside here.
actually- Oh, he's letting lap cars through. That'll be it.
Very nicely done by Mr. Hansen.
No, they're not lap cars. One of them's Sinister. Very strange.
Indeed.
Oh, nice big cut from Adam Hansen there. That one
Oh,
will
was it?
slide under the table. Yep.
Oh dear.
He was very, very lucky actually that he didn't get a bite like Blocky did. Because that curb, I'd say, if you get too greedy, it can chew you up and spit you out and into the wall.
This is getting a little bit interesting further up the grid. Callum Ultra is now under a second behind Ryan Wooten for what would be the final podium spot. He's on 13 lap olds. Oh no, that's completely changed. He's now gone up to almost 1.4. That is changing massively all the time. Let's go back up and have a look. See how he's getting on.
Yeah, I think they were passing a back marker.
Right, makes sense.
Fox,
Well,
so they were passing
so
Mello.
where things get interesting though. Back markers
Yeah,
can
so now
make
he's
a
passed
big
Mello. It's
difference.
back down to a second. So that's
Is
not
that
over
enough,
by any
though?
stretch of the imagination.
Is that
Well,
enough?
you've got to think Ryan's on softer, younger rubber. May just equalise the two of them in terms of all-out pace round here. But again, it's just like last week with Callum Ultra. He had it with Mr. Monaco VXR. He's now got to be really patient and choose his moment around Ryan. This
He's
is not
getting
easy track to
close.
overtake either. Moss all over the back of Seamus as well. And VXR all over the back of Flecky.
This is
Kind of little
close
pockets
everywhere.
here, everywhere.
This is so close. I think Moss with a good exit should get the run. Firstly, we'll stay on board with VXR on 22 lap old hards. Has he got enough in the tank to be able to mount an overtake? Look at this. Several overtaking. Oh wow, that's close. He moves to the outside. Not sure he's got the tyre left to hang it around the outside. Or does he? Or does he?
That's an amazing move.
That is
He's
nothing
going to
short of
complete it through
incredible.
turn 2 here.
Oh, they're
Very,
so
very,
close.
very good move. Flecky trying to tough it out around the outside, has to yield for the right-hander though, but he's got to be careful. Seamus and Moss are flying at him. I think these soft tyres are the equivalent of marshmallows over a campfire at this point for Flecky.
I am so surprised how quickly the softs have dropped off. I was really anticipating
Well, I say, we always
Flecky.
knew it was going to be a struggle, didn't we? Like, even at the safety car, he was looking at about 13, 14 laps, but we saw Vader and Leroy struggling from about lap 7. So Flecky has tried to take these tyres to almost double their life.
Wow.
Oh,
This is now getting very tricky
the
here.
car of Mello does not know where to go. Hopefully,
Oh dear.
Codemasters can sort that out with EA's funding, but that was not nice to see. Moss nearly got 3 cars in 2 corners.
That is really not gone well. Moss is now past Flecky. Flecky's dropped right back. That gap though between Seamus and Moss has gone outside of 1 second. We're going to go back on board with Callum Ultra though. Half a second now between him and a podium spot. We know that the Callum Ultra fan club are going to be rooting him on. Now there is a back marker up ahead. Crookie is ahead, and in a tight and twisty sector 2 will hopefully be able to get out of the way quickly, because this could make or break and ultimately decide who ends up on the podium here. He gets out of the way very well. That's great work from Crookie, recognising.
Remember, we've only got a few corners left. This is the last lap. So
It is
Callum Ultra
indeed.
very quickly running out of opportunities. He's going to have to rely. This is his last opportunity right here. He didn't have the ERS or the overspeed.
Mr.
looking at a
BLT
run to the
Leroy
line.
though comes across
Ryan's
the
just
line
gotta
though.
Keep it clean through these last 2 corners. Penultimate corner, fine. Don't risk too much into that last corner. Nice late apex, gets the traction out, and he holds P3.
Wow, there it is, folks. BLT Leroy takes the win. Lord Vader second. Ryan Wooten just about holds on for P3. Great drives from the 2 Alfa Romeos. Callum Ultra P4 VXR 25 laps on hard tyres, finishes P5. Seamus, a great drive from him, sees him into P6. Flecky P7, Moss P8, Mertzi getting some points in P9. Adam Hansen looking like he's going to finish the point scoring positions with P10. And let's not forget, although it's no points, a good drive from UK Assassin finishing P11.